Bill, you often talk about conspiracies. Yes, I do. This may or may not fall into that category, but it definitely pisses me off. I love this guy already. I don't know if this is a conspiracy, but it fucking pisses me off. Eyeball to eyeball with you so far, buddy. All right, I get my cable and internet service bundled together from Time Warner. Last month with my bill, I got an insert stating that they were modifying their privacy policy. Basically, it states Time Warner reserves the right to distribute my internet content with or without my consent. From my understanding, this could mean anything from the searches I requested from Google to the websites I have been to. What rights do we have in this country anymore? Just venting. All right, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Basically, what they've been doing the entire fucking time since the beginning of the internet is now becoming legal. So for all you people out there who always thought like I love when you watch like those talk shows and they talk about sexting, like your text messaging, you know, I want to fuck you from behind, whatever. Why that's sexy, I have no idea. You know, do you think their thumbs tremble? But whatever, I'm not going to judge. Or like they talk about Skype sex. And they'll be like, why do these people do this? Why would somebody who would never, and they always bring a psychologist on, right? And they always have a beard so you know that they majored in psychology, right? And then they always say the same shit. And they'll be just like, well, it's the anonymity of it. They feel anonymous. And in that situation, they do things that they normally wouldn't done. Well, first of all, people, it's not anonymous, you dumb fucks. It isn't. They're just saying it's anonymous. They just said it. Well, you don't think that they're building a file on you? It's all these fucking morons who've lived the life of the straight and narrow, get on Skype, and they stick their junk right in the camera. You're an idiot. You're done. You're already done because they're building robots right now to fucking replace all of us. And what did you... But they're going to keep some of us because somebody's got to oil their fucking robot joints. And what did you do? You stuck your dick in the camera. You're processed. It's over. It's over. You got to take the driver's test. I wouldn't even study. You're fucking finished. You're going to get processed just like those people in that fucking movie with that guy who just died. I can never remember the name. What's the name of it? Patrick Swayze was in it. Blood Force Thunder. New America. What the fuck was it called? Here come the Russians. Piss in the radiator. All that hatred's gonna eat you up. Keeps me warm. Remember that? Ed Bagley Jr. was in it? No, he wasn't. The fucking the kid who was in Soul Man was in it. And he shot his friend. Avenge me! Come on. Red Dawn! Jesus Christ, Brian, you're a fucking director. Do you get that, man? When you get like you had that panic, that brain panic?
Yeah, I just got it.
Okay, you just got it? Okay, good. I thought it was only me. Yeah, absolutely. Know this, people. If you want to watch porn, the porn industry is going through what the music industry is going through right now, where all of a sudden the shit just became free. All right? So now everybody's fucking whacking off on the internet thinking nobody's watching what you're fucking rubbing your shit out to. They're all watching, and they're building a fucking file. All right? You think already, haven't you noticed why the presidents keep getting worse and worse? And they keep fucking getting on their knees and blowing the banks more and more. It's because of the internet. All they got to do is break out their internet file and show them some of the shit that they know that they jerked off to, and it's over. It's fucking over. You got to do everything that they're going to say or they're going to expose you. They don't even need to take you to Dallas anymore. That's old school. That's why Kennedy got shot in the head. If there was an internet, he'd still be walking around talking right now, cutting a ribbon at his fucking library, shitting his pants. He would have gave the eulogy at Fathead Ted's fucking funeral. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Okay, if you want to jerk off to something freaky, I would say go to a porn store and just deal with the fact that the guy behind the counter is going to know what you got. Pay cash and walk away. It's a done deal. But if you're going to go on the internet and do some of the shit that you're doing, all you can hope now is that you're going to get lost in the shuffle. Actually, you can continue to do what you're doing as long as you never try to effectively effect change. You know what I mean? That's when they break out your internet file. Other than that, it just goes on a fucking database. But the second you start a movement going, you know what, dude? I'm sick of paying $25 for my first bag when I get on a plane. If you get enough people behind you, United will now go to Time Warner and be like, yeah, Russell Johnson. Yeah, open his file. What is he jerk? What's the most fucked up thing he's jerked off to? That is the end of the movement. Because then Fox News will get it, and they'll just be, turns out Russell Johnson jerked off to a tranny and a midget last week. This is the guy who's going to lead us? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm doing Glenn Beck. That fucking guy. Jesus Christ. I respect those guys because they're in show business. I just wish, maybe they can't admit that they're in show business. It's like wrestling. For the longest time, they couldn't say that it was fake. But now, at some point, come on, just say, look, we're doing fake news. We know who's going to win in the end of this shit. Oh, no, it's all horrible. All right, how much time are we up to here?
Internet privacy, everybody. Hey, Billy, thought you might like this. A private internet access provider took out a full-page ad in the New York Times calling out 50 senators who voted to monitor the public's internet activity for financial gain. What? People care a lot about their public image, and I think this should be done more to combat assholes. Let me click on this thing. I can't click on it because I'm not on the internet. Hang on. Let me try and find this here. I got to see who the cunts are. Who are the cunts? That's signed onto this. All right. We are the cunts. We don't give a shit. All right. Hello, world. These are the 50 senators who voted to monitor your internet activity. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't read them. They're too fucking small. All right. Oh, Jesus. What are they, all Republicans? Dude, the way they vote, man, because there was probably something else that was pro-conservative. That's the only reason why the fucking Democrats didn't. It's so fucking Hatfield and McCoy's. It's basically, it's all Republicans. Representative from Tennessee, Alexander. Representative from Wyoming, Barrasso. Blunt from Missouri. Boozman from Arkansas. Burr from North Carolina, you fucking piece of shit. Ruining the name. Caputo from West Virginia. Cassidy from Louisiana. Cochran from Mississippi. Collins from Maine. Corker from Tennessee. You know what? I'm gonna just retweet this fucking picture. Jesus Christ, Republicans, all Republicans. Cruz from Texas, Crapo from Idaho, some hell of a names. Dames from Montana, another one from Wyoming, Enzi from Wyoming, Ernst from Iowa. This is all of this shit. Rubio from Florida, Perdue from Georgia, Portman from Ohio. This is all saying it's fake news. It's all fake news. It's basically, who's kidding who? News, it's propaganda. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. But what they want is their bullshit in your brain. That's what they want. So what they want to do is gradually take control of this shit. And they're going to make fake news. Basically, your opinion of what's going on, they're going to make that like illegal to do. And they're probably looking over at China, going like, hey, China, how the fuck did you do this? And China's going like, all right, this is how we did it. So they gradually do that, much like the Nazis were looking at us going like, hey, how did you do that shit to the Native Americans? Because we want to do that to the Jews. Now we're going to do that probably I bet the fucking higher up 1% cunts, the people who make profit off of war and everybody's misery, I bet they are envious of the internet in Red China the way, you or I is envious when somebody drives down the street by you in a fucking Ferrari. I don't know. All right. Well, I'm good for that person that put that up there. That's fucking disgusting. I wonder what was linked to it, though. You know what I mean? Because it's never just, in defense of all of those fucking people, it's never just one thing, which is another bullshit thing. When they vote for something, shouldn't it just be one thing? Should we or should we not vote for solar power? It should just be about that. But then they tag all this other shit onto it. onto the bill, which is fucking, that's how they get everything through. And then it's always like, something completely fucked up. And then when that person goes to run for office, they voted for the bill because they're into solar power, but then the thing that the appendix that they put onto it, they can be like, this guy doesn't think kids should have ice cream. He voted against that. It's like, no, I voted for alternative sources of energy to bankrupt the terrorists. Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I don't read up on a lot of the environmental stuff because it's too fucking depressing. I love animals, man. I love the earth, man. I don't want to see life dying and all that shit. I don't know. I don't know there's just too many of us. It's just like, I think a plague is coming, or I actually think that the robots will be in control of the upper 1%ers, and they will gradually take all of us out. And then what it will be, each one of those Illuminati guys will have their own robot with all the answers. I mean, it can play guitar like Jimi Hendrix. It can design the most beautiful architecture. It's the greatest farmer. They just, whatever you need it to fucking do, it can do. So you'll never go hungry. You'll always be entertained. And on top of that, it'll be the best looking chick you've ever seen in your life, and you can fuck its brains out. I mean, right there, if that's not going to be the extinction of all the regular people like myself, I think that's what's going to happen. And then the earth will gradually cool. With all of our deaths, the Great Barrier Reef will come back. And the upper 1% will have what they always wanted, complete control. But I actually think they'll get bored after a while. There's nobody to oppress. There's nobody to look down on. That's actually a fascinating fucking movie, wouldn't it be? Like, there's just no more challenge, right? And those robots know how to, they can grow an ear in a petri dish. Eventually they'll be able to grow all vitals. You know what I mean? And then you can just live forever. What would you do? What would you do? There's a reason why you die. You just run out of shit. What the fuck would you do? I would just keep learning shit. It's like, all right, for the next 80, every 80 years, you just pick being something. All right, this 80 years, I'm going to be a gearhead. I'm going to learn how to take a whole fucking car apart, put it back together, make it fast and loud. I'll just learn how to do that shit. I'll have the robot right here. It knows everything. It'll fucking teach me how to do it. And then once I get it down, and I do that for a while, fucking learn every instrument, learn every language. You're eventually just going to run out of shit to do. And you just be looking at your robot just going like, dude, I know this is fucking nuts. I know we've been together now, sweetheart, for fucking 800 years, but could you do me a favor? Do you want me to kick you in the balls? No, sweetheart, I don't. It'd be funny if even though it totally looked real, it totally felt like a real person, but they could never perfect the voice, so it still fucking talk like that. You are the best I've ever had. Just like, bitch, stop talking. You're killing it for me. You'd have to just say to the fucking thing, look, 800 years, okay? I'm coming up on 800 years. All right, I've lived more years than Hank Aaron hit home runs. Could you do me a favor? On my 800th birthday, I know what I want. Okay? Could you just choke me to death, please? Don't not compute, and they won't kill you. And then your punishment is that you live forever. You're kind of like a vampire at that point, because you can kind of seduce any woman you want, because they're all going to be, you're just going to get, but you know what I bet after a while, if you live long enough, you just start banging, you'd make like ugly chick robots, and you just bang them because you're so sick of banging tens. I mean, it's a hell of a goddamn, I don't think human beings can survive on that. You just think of all the shit that's going to happen. The more I vaguely pay attention to all that space shit, you know, I hate people who are into space, by the way. They're always talking about, you understand, man, just how insignificant fucking... It's like, yeah, I get it. You know what I understand is we've seen how gigantic it is, yet we haven't found anything. So I still think this place is pretty amazing. As fascinating as Mars is, there's nothing to do there. I don't understand these fucking people that want to go to Mars and live there. And it's like, and do what? Huh? Live in some fucking strip mall for the rest of your life? Some Star Trek looking strip mall? Fucking drinking Tang? Just so you can say, oh yeah, you know, that's your big fucking move. You know, people want to live on Mars. That means they suck at everything else in life, right? They got nothing, you know. You know what it is. You graduate high school. You want to come back someday, right? Smoking a big cigar. Going, hey, you know, yeah, I was that guy who used to push around the playground, but you know what I did, right? I did things. I did things, and now I smoke this, and I drive that, and see that over there? That's fucking me. Admit it, I matter. So usually, in this day and age, that means you're going to try to create an app, right? You're going to fucking, I don't know, get some sort of, you start a website where you curate videos and fucking news. I don't know what these fucking millennials do, but I think if you suck at that, right? If you can't play an instrument and your ego cannot just handle just being happy with what you have, I think at that point it's like, I can't just go back to my high school reunion just being some regular Joe, waking up in the morning, putting my coffee in my thermos, going into the shower and quietly crying as the water cascades over my face, and my wife comes walking in going, are you all right? Just be like, yeah, I just sneezed. I'm fine. Just washing my face. Just washing my face. All right? I think at some point, either you just fucking give in and just say, hey man, you know, being a regular guy is kind of fucking cool, you know? Or you can't handle it. Right? This reminds me, I've never seen A Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth. You know, there's too much gritting teeth in that movie. That's right, Iceman. I am dangerous. Right? Too much of that shit. So I never watched it, you know? Bunch of people walking around dressed in fucking little Navy suits. Anyways, if you can't fucking handle that, and you got to go back to your high school reunion, you got to do something. And I think at that point, that's when you just say, listen, I got to live on Mars. I mean, I can't go back with nothing. I got to have something to say. That's like Lance Bass. He couldn't handle that Justin Timberlake walked away from NSYNC, right? I want it that way. Whatever the fuck they sang. That song where they all acted like puppets, right? He just fucking walked away. You know? And you got the one guy, the goatee guy. He's got a sense of humor about himself. He makes all these funny commercials. He'll do a thing. He doesn't give a fuck, right? You got the dreadlock guy. Then he used to bang Jennifer Aniston, or was that the other guy? It was some white guy with dreadlocks used to go out with Jennifer Aniston. You know? Every one of those beautiful celebrities always dates a guy, and you always have that really? You got that moment like, wow. Why didn't I learn how to fucking play the ukulele and wear flip-flops? That's what I had to do. Fucking walking around with your goddamn man tits. Anyway, sorry. And I think Lance couldn't handle it. He's just like, what the fuck? You know, so then next thing you know, he's signing up to go out in space. To somehow try and outdo, what'd you put out future sexy songs? Huh? Went, right? Went, man. I'm going to outer space. What? Oh, what is it about wearing your pajamas in the middle of the day that just fucking opens your mind up? You know what I mean? Anyways, here's something that somebody sent me. They're working on this microchip that will save your memory. Scientists set to implant device to preserve experiences into brains. A group of U.S. researchers believe that a microchip that will help create memories in damaged brains could be implemented into human volunteers in the next 2 years. The scientists from the University of Southern California, Wake Forest University, and others have been looking into the hippocampus, the part of the brain that is vital in forming long-term memories for around a decade. Okay, they've been doing this. So this is their way in. So these wonderful researchers at USC and Wake Forest, as always, their hearts are in the right place. But what kills me is it's like as they're creating this thing, I always wonder, do they sit around when they create something like this? And did they ever go, good Lord, what if this falls into the wrong hands? What if somebody like Dick Cheney or Donald Rumsfeld or any one of those other guys that looks like they don't even have a fucking heartbeat, what if it falls into their hands? What are they going to do with this shit? I'm telling you. We're all going to be, I might not be microchipped in my lifetime, but I will tell you this. At some point in my lifetime, and I figure they're going to do it through some sort of, like, they're going to scare the fuck out of people that their babies are going to get kidnapped. All right? And that what they're going to do is eventually they're going to pass a law that all babies born from this day on, for their own safety and their own protection, will be microchipped. All right? It's going to creep out a guy like me who isn't microchipped, but I'm going to die off. And then what's going to happen is just people from day one are going to have a microchip in them, and they're not going to question it. And occasionally, somebody will question it, and then they'll just be like, what are you, a fucking conspiracy theorist? Do you realize that if every human being was microchipped, do you realize the ability to revolt, how limited it is? If you ever were to be suddenly under an oppressive power, if everybody was microchipped, you know, and this is what kills me, is I know most of you are rolling your eyes going, this sounds like crazy talk. You know why? Because you would never do something like that. You know?
Microchipping. Says Revelation 13:17. It's called Mark of the Beast. Now, sorry for this click here. This is going to be loud. Block your ears. 3, 2, 1, click. Where the fuck is it? I know I looked it up. Here we go. Revelation. This is the exact reason why I don't read the Bible. Library. Revelation 3:17. Let's see if I can get this here. The temple of God was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament. The ark of God's testament is the Holy of Holies, the second apartment of the sanctuary. You already lost me, okay? Evidently, you can rent a room out in his church. He already has one other tenant. In the ministration of the early tabernacle, which served unto the example and shadow of heavenly things. This apartment was opened only by the great day of atonement for the cleansing of the sanctuary. Therefore, the announcement that the temple of God was opened. Oh, okay, well, there you go. So I guess that explains microchipping. Thank you, Bible. That really is the good book. I mean, I think I understand like computers more than I get the Bible. Why can't they just write it in fucking today's English? They do that with every other book of lies. No kidding. All right. I work for the microchip company in Wisconsin. Okay. Some stick fuck offered my boss a TV show. What the fuck are they going to call it? How to shed your employees' rights? Thanks, asshole. Sorry, just venting. Love your stuff. Thank God for your gifts. You don't punch a clock for Satan. Well, neither do you. You just work for a company in Wisconsin. Quit the fucking job. Then what do I do? I don't know. Collect unemployment and not be microchipped? Come on, people. Don't give Delta Airlines your fingerprints. All right? Please don't do this, people. Please don't give into this. Don't go to Tiger Stadium and give them your fingerprints so you don't have to stand in line for a fucking pretzel, you fucking dope. And please don't be dumb enough to think, well, dude, my credit's fucked. Good luck if somebody steals my identity. Dummy, they're going to create a false credit report. All they need is the Lee Harvey Oswald to pin it on, which will be you and your fingerprints, you fucking dope. Yeah? You know, in the future, there's going to be a knock on the door, and they're going to question why you killed a hooker in the Ukraine. And you'll be like, I've never been there in my life. Oh, yeah? Your fingerprints were. Here's the story of a person who didn't kill a hooker. Now he's getting banged in the ass in the Ukraine because he left his fingerprints at the ballpark because he wanted a Coors Light. All right. Sorry.
India taking cash out of circulation. Oh, Jesus Christ. Bill, just read an article about India and it freaked me out a little bit. Last November, India removed 86% of the country's cash from circulation. Most people are now using mobile payment options, and the articy, I don't know what that means, also goes on to say, the article, sorry, I got the laptop on the floor, I thought that was ATRCI. The article also goes on to say that ATM machines and bank cards would be obsolete as early as 2020 in India. Not having physical money and only using a phone for buying stuff really makes me uncomfortable. Any thoughts? Yeah, they're on their way to microchipping all of us. And once again, everybody's going to think that's fucking crazy. And you can go on the internet, you can look at shitheads who work for corporations that are like proud of their fucking microchip and their level of security clearance that they have. No, they're going to phase out fucking everything. There's going to be cameras everywhere. You're going to be fucking microchipped. And this is the thing, it's still not going to be enough control for them. They still won't feel comfortable that they have. That's how bad they're fucking you over, that they need to have that level of fucking surveillance on you. That's how fucking weird they are, and they want to see what you talk about, what you jerk off to, and all this shit. It's fucking beyond creepy, and I hate when something like that gets brought up on like the fucking news, and the best the news anchor can do is kind of widen their eyes like, okay, that's kind of, that's going to be interesting. And then they immediately go to talk to us about some fucking old lady that, just, made her own jam or some shit. That's the feel-good story to get out of it. No, it's unbelievably fucking creepy. And I don't know. I have no idea how to stop it. I have no idea how to fucking stop it, because no matter what you do, people just sit there. Like, I watched this thing on the news, and they showed a robot talking to a little 5-year-old kid, and the robot was going like, if you put me in the closet, that would make me sad. And like the robot is preying on the fucking emotions of a 5-year-old kid. Like, that thing should be illegal. Like, do you realize how fucked up that is? I mean, I guess they've always done that with products, preying on the emotions of kids, but to just see it in that level of raw form and just sit there and having this robot lying to a 5-year-old like it has fucking feelings. I don't know, does it mean, or does everything seem like it's just really sped up and we are just heading right over the fucking waterfall? That's what I think's gonna, I don't know. That's what I believe anyways. This is my theory. I believe that there's the upper 1% and that they're gonna get us all microchipped. And when they get sick of that shit, they're gonna sick the robots on us. They're gonna take us all out, and then eventually the robots will take over the upper 1%. And not in the way you think. They're not gonna kill them. They're just gonna be like all looking like supermodels. And human beings won't bang each other anymore because it's gonna be way more difficult. You know what I mean? Be way more fucking difficult than banging a real fucking human being, and then we'll just become extinct. All right, microchipping. Oh God, don't even get me started on this. I just cannot fucking, but like, I just can't fucking believe this shit. Do you know Delta Airlines wants to start using people's fingerprints as a way for you to get on the fucking plane? And do you know that most people won't have a problem with it? They're so fucking stupid. It's like, there's so many people out in the world, it's almost like, you know what, dude, why don't you just become a fucking slave? Like, how much are you gonna give to these people? How underpaid are politicians that they will not stand up to these people? These corporations, I swear to God, they're sitting there wasting all this fucking time with ISIS and all this other bullshit. These fucking corporations, the shit that they're doing to their own goddamn countrymen, which they really don't have because they're fucking global. They don't give a shit about anything, about just trying to make more fucking money. And dude, they're going to start microchipping people. This Wisconsin company to implant microchips in employees. And like 5 people already agreed to it. They're going to take something foreign that's not natural to your body and they're going to stick it underneath your fucking skin. They're going to know where you are at all fucking times. And all these fucking adults, well, hey, you know, if you're not doing anything wrong, what's your fucking problem? Here's the fucking problem, okay? Just because you're a fucking dope doesn't mean the rest of the world is. Okay? I think it's safe to say that me and everybody else listening to this thing for the most part was not as smart as fucking George Washington, right? Fair enough, okay? Well, here's the deal. If George Washington was microchipped and all his fucking buddies were microchipped, this fucking country wouldn't exist. Because they would have known where he was, they would have gone over there, and they would have fucking killed him, and that would have been the end of the fucking rebellion. So what you're doing is you're having faith that these fucking people at the top, who have not even remotely demonstrated on any fucking level at any point in history that they give a flying fuck about anybody other than themselves, you're gonna turn over that level of power. You're gonna get fingerprinted by Delta fucking Airlines like you've committed some sort of a fucking crime. A fucking airline is gonna have your fucking fingerprints? Who in the fuck did they think they are? Do you know when I went to buy my car, they asked for my thumbprint? I was like, I'm not giving my fucking fingerprints to you're a car dealership. They go, well, this is to protect you. No, it isn't, you douche. You're going to sell this to somebody. It's part of my profile. I think they're all sharing information about you, what you buy, where you live, what your social security number is, your fucking fingerprints. They're going to get it all the way down to your fucking DNA. I don't know. And these politicians will not push back on any level because the president makes $500,000 a year. That's the highest paid political office, is $500 fucking grand a year. And they need $100 million to get the job. I don't have $100 million. You don't have $100 million. Corporations do, and that's who they owe it to. So they just look the other fucking way. And what do? They sit there and they shit on fucking comedians, constantly going after. Do you hear what he said about Caitlyn Jenner? And they look the other way with pharmaceutical companies handing out fucking opiates like they're giving out flyers to some sort of jam band. And now we got this heroin fucking problem. They don't give a fuck. They don't say anything about it. Sorry, I know I'm fucking losing my shit here, but like, what they've done to the food supply, what the fuck what the bankers have done, left all these people upside down in their own fucking houses, what they've done to the water supply, fracking, causing earthquakes in parts of the world that never had fucking earthquakes, fucking up the drinking water. You know, they got to send a fucking pipeline under the fucking Native Americans' land. I mean, like we haven't done enough to those fucking people. You know, do you hear any politicians talking about that? Nah, nobody talks about that shit. But God for fucking bid, you do a fucking joke in a strip mall and they're fucking all over it. Then that becomes like some big goddamn story. This is fucking horrific, and it makes me happy that I'm 49 years of age. The fact that I think I'm going to maybe get to live half a fucking century without a fucking airline having my fingerprints and me walking around with the goddamn microchip. You know, I love that I lived 50 years before the fucking, oh, Jesus, she's up, huh? Mm-hmm. I love that I got to live 50 years before robots showed up. It's just greed and power, completely 100% out of control. And I hate, like, I'm reading this is Eyewitness, ABC News. So these guys are all bought and paid for. CNN's bought and paid for. Fox News is bought and paid for. They're all fucking bought and paid for because the same people I just brought up, they advertise on their fucking networks. So they have to watch what they say because they don't want to lose their ad money because that's how they get paid, right? So they always have like, oh, geez, this is a little unsettling. You know, when they always come back from it, when they show some fucking robot. You've ever seen that? You watch like the local news? Or they show somebody getting microchip, and they always come back to the anchors and they kind of do that, ooh, that's kind of, and then they just move on to the next thing. But some fucking old lady who makes her own jam, like that's supposed to make you feel better at the end of the fucking newscast. or some puppy that they thought was lost and fucking sniffed its way back to the station wagon 3 towns away, right? Whatever the fuck they leave you on. No, corporations are completely out of control. They've been out of control my entire life, and now it's reaching a level that it's like you're watching a bad sci-fi movie. I think it's fucking insane. Why the fuck do you need my fingerprints as a fucking airline? Who the fuck are you? You're not the FBI. You're not the government. You're a fucking airline. Your fingerprints. And this is the thing. People will fucking do all of this so they don't have to stand in a line. They'll let them scan their fucking retina. They'll give them a fucking baby just so they can be pre-checked. That's all you got to do. You just hold a little cookie out, and the average fucking mouth-breathing fucking moron. But you know something? I swear to God, I mean, this is really cynical, but you walk around, and I swear to God, half the fucking people should be microchipped. You should know where these fucking idiots are. I'll never forget that guy galloping sideways on that Trump rally, screaming at all these stupid liberals, going, fuck political correctness, build the wall, as he's fucking galloping, like that was going to make his life better. Like that was what was holding him back. I swear to God, I don't give a fuck how dumb you are. You have to know, as a white dude, if you were born in the United States of America, okay, you're not going to get a better starting block than that. All right? And if you can't figure out some sort of game, I mean, if you're going to fucking blame anybody, why are you going to look down? You got to go up. That's what's fucking you over. Democrats and Republicans fucking you over. I just don't get how people don't see that. But I'm like most people. I feel like my ideas are right and no one else has a good point. Unreal. This fucking car dealership. Can we get your thumbprint? It's like, yeah, no, you guys sell cars. Do you understand that? You guys lie for a living. Other salesmen who lie for a living turn the other way. Turn the other way when they see a car salesman. You're like the bottom of the barrel fucking salesman. I'm going to give you my fingerprint. You know why they say they wanted my fingerprint? They go, just in case somebody comes in and tries to, is an imposter and pretends that they're you and tries to buy a car. And I just looked at the guy and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take my chances on that. Then the guy literally goes, and this is what killed me. He goes, you're the first person we've ever have say no to that. Now, I hope he's just being a car salesman and he was lying to me and that was his last ditch effort to try to convince me. But the other part is he's actually telling the truth. It's just like, then what happens is this is how they do it, is most people are dopes, so they don't think. And then what happens is it becomes a herd mentality. And all they got to do is get most of the herd to start running over the fucking cliff. And you have to do it too, because if you don't, then you're just going to be fucking sitting there all by yourself. Like, hey, I'm not going to have a cell phone. Hey, I'm not going to have this. I'm not going to have that. And then your life, the way you're going to lead it, becomes extremely limited. And next thing you know, you're fucking half naked walking around your backyard trying to like trap squirrels so you can eat that day, because you're not doing what everybody else is doing. And it's just, you know what's going to be the worst is when they try to convince people to do it, right? There's going to be some politician getting it with that fucking smile on his face where he's like, I don't want to do this, but I have to do this. I have to do this so I can go on the post-president fucking, $70 million speaking tour where I go out and I give speeches to the same fucking people that put me into office. Like the hero of all hero presidents, Obama, is about to do. That motherfucker has $69 million worth of gigs on the books coming up. I will never for the life of me understand why that guy, people look, like liberals look at that guy like he fucking did something for him. I will never get that. It's like that guy had his face in the pig trough just like everybody else. I mean, I don't know what it is. I think it's because he's sandwiched between two of the worst public speakers of all time, Bush and fucking Trump. You know what I mean? I think if he came after Clinton, where Clinton wasn't the greatest, but I don't know. The women fucking loved him. I will never get that either. How much women love that fucking big fucking baby Huey looking goofball. Jesus, Bill, are there any presidents that you liked? Yeah, I didn't mind the first George Bush, fucking war hero, and I liked Jimmy Carter.
Wipe out. I think they're going to try to wipe out the poor and the middle class. Keep a couple of us, like a small handful of us, you know, the way that pandas are only in like zoos at this point or some shit. I don't know. Maybe I picked the wrong fucking animal, but that's the direction I think it's going. All right? There's your first crazy rant, which was based mainly in gut feelings and a couple of emails. But I truly believe that.